7 o'clock. So I'll call the Borough Council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we'll have personal appeals, part 1. If you have a personal appeal,
Barrett, Brown, and Gilbert, front and center.
oh my goodness. Did I hear a Barrett Brown?
Yeah. Barrett, Brown, Gilbert.
Sally.
For each of you,
I can use
a certificate of
iPad if we need
appreciation
it.
for your dedication and commitment to the furthering of the safety of the Borough of Emmaus as members of the Emmaus Borough Council Public Safety Committee. Make sure you all sign this over there. Mr. Mayor.
You look like an old elf from the No Shake. The No Shake.
Mr. Mayor, you've been here for 20 years. This is your last official council meeting. We have a 20-man department. Somehow you have sworn in 23 full-time officers, 8 sergeants, 3 chiefs, oversaw 4 cycles of accreditation, the building of a new police department, and served under 4 U.S. presidents. Congratulations. And lost my hair. Presenting you with a certificate of commendation for your 20 years of meritorious service to the residents of the Borough of Emmaus and the members of the Emmaus Police Department, commencing January 1998 and ending December 2017.
Hey, thank you very much.
Also presenting you with this shadow box inscribed, presented to Mayor Winfield Yopes for 20 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Emmaus and the Emmaus Police Department, January 1998 to December of 2017.
Well, thank you, that is very nice.
If we can get the police to turn around so
Well,
we get some
We'd
photos.
also like to present you with one final on-duty salute. Detail, attention. Present arms. Order arms. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So if we could have the police line up and have our council members moving on and our mayor for some photos. Nate? Do you want just the mayor?
Hey, Chief, go on up there.
Yes, sir.
Get one with just the mayor and then you can get like the
I can
outgoing
still
council
pause
members.
it, right? Where do you want me?
We'll have the council members join, the outgoing council members join in too.
Yeah.
Shake my flag. tomorrow night. Oh, that's great. Good job. You guys look sharp.
I'm at personal appeals. Okay, I just want to thank everyone, and very proud of everything that has gone on in 20 years. I mean, we started at a tough time, and we really came into everything working well. And Nate, I wish you well. The rest of the council people, Brent doing a good job. Shane, you're doing a good job. So I'm proud to lead with 20 years in, and we have a top-notch police department. I'll always be proud of it.
Thank you, Mayor.
You know you could have said that from here.
I want to see what it feels like back. I want to see what it feels like back there.
He didn't sign in though, so just so you know.
I'm signing out.
Any more personal appeals?
Do I have to say my name?
Yes, for the
Officially,
record.
For the record, I'm Megan Reed, the Emmaus Main Street Partners Manager, and I'm here with Aaron DeLong and some members of our Emmaus Main Street Board, Michael Irwin, John Hayes, and Jessica's here with us tonight too. We wanted to just come in here today and say thank you so much for an amazing 2017. My first year here has been wonderful, and I wanted to say good luck and congratulations to Nate, Leanne, Wes, and thank you to the mayor for 20 awesome years and one heck of a year while I was here, so it's been really fun. I wanted to introduce you to Erin. She's our new chair of the Emmaus Main Street Partners, so she's going to be taking on some awesome projects this year, and I'm just going to let you say hello.
Hi, I'm Erin DeLong, the new chair for Emmaus Main Street Partners. I wanted to thank all of you so much for your continuing support of our organization. Without borough's support, we wouldn't be able to accomplish a lot of these great events that we have. Farewell Summer went really well. I'm sure that you all know how well Old Fashioned Christmas went. A phenomenal turnout, I think one of our highest turnouts ever. And of course, the banner project. We brought the banner along to show everybody here. With your support, we got the funding for the banners, and you've helped support by putting up the banners. We hope to have the fall banners next year for fall 2018, and we're doing some banners for spring.
We're hoping to do a spring banner project too for this year.
And hopefully have your support in installing those banners as well. Sorry it wasn't nearly as good as all the police coming up. I would have brought an entourage if I'd known that I was competing with that. But again, thank you so much for everything. Nice. Thank you to the outgoing council members for your support, and good luck with everything in the future.
Good luck, Aaron.
Thank you. So this is the banner.
Yes, I'm sure we'll see it downtown. It's so
Looks
beautiful.
nice. It's really nice.
No, same size. Same size. So we alternated them. Every other one is
Okay.
donated by Main Street and then donated by Wesley Works.
Yeah,
Nice.
show both sides of it. So the borough side, borough logo on the bottom, and then the other side is the Emmaus Main Street Partners and Chamber.
And the fall banner will do the same thing with the alternating down the street to show our partnership. That is all I got. And here's to an awesome 2018.
Thank you for your support as well.
Next.
David Faust, 440 South 2nd Street. I first want to take the opportunity to wish all of council, Shane, you and your family, Mr. Solicitor, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Mayor, I want to take the opportunity. I had the privilege of working with you and for you for 16 plus years. And I couldn't have asked for a better boss. I've told you that. A family member and a father. Of course, when I made mistakes, I knew I was wrong, but most of the time, you were there to support me and the police department. And what I'll carry most with me about you is that you were always for the people of Emmaus first. No matter what the circumstance, no matter what the crisis, no matter what the decision was, you always said it was about the people of Emmaus. And I truly know that about you. I know your family's important to you. I hope that you get many years with them and your grandchildren. Godspeed to you. Thank you for supporting me, the people of Emmaus, and the police department. I wish you nothing but the best, Mayor. You're a truly good man, and I'm going to miss you in your role as mayor, but I know you're going to get a lot of years of enjoyment. So thank you, Mayor, for your time and the time that we could spend together.
Thank you, Chief. You and I did have a special bond. I don't know if it's, I just don't know why, but we do. We always did, we always will. I can agree with a lot of the things that went on and how before you used to tell me where a promotion was going to be, I named it, and I was right on with you. So we did have a good working years together, and I was always proud of you as being the chief.
Thank you, Mayor. God bless you, and Godspeed to you and your family. Councilwoman Gilbert, the same to you. Congratulations on your years serving the borough. As a councilwoman, wish you nothing but the best in the role as the mayor. I know you'll do a fine job in that role as well. So thank you for your service. Appreciate your support of us and of the community, the police department as well in the past. I hope I'm not missing any council members going out. Councilman Brown.
Are your 5 minutes up?
Solicitor,
Can't go by
give you
our
an
clock.
extension. Thank you for your service to the borough of Emmaus and your support as well. And this is in jest, by the way. You shall report to the sheriff's office at 0700 January the 2nd.
That's too early.
Thank you all, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Hi. So, I don't know what this
Please
is.
sign in.
Okay.
Thank you. And state your name and where you're from.
My name is Bethany Brown. I am from Emmaus. I don't know. 902. I've never done this before. I feel like grown up. Anyways, I just want to say congratulations, Dad, and congratulations, Miss Gilbert. I just want to say a few words because when I was like 10, I remember my dad being elected, and I would be like, oh my gosh, well, I'd be 14 years old when he was like, sworn in again and all that fancy stuff. And now here I am, 16 years old, and he's off somewhere. And Miss Gilbert, girl power, Miss New Mayor. And I just want to say congratulations to my dad. Like, it's kind of awkward, like embarrassing for me to do this, but I can remember when he was doing elections, we didn't eat on our dinner table for however long the campaign was because there was mailers and petitions, and I just want to say congratulations, and I love you, Dad.
Thank you.
Normally I would make fun of him, but I can't. Yeah.
She saved your butt.
Give it 10 minutes. Give it 10 minutes, Shane. He'll do something.
Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
Exactly. My name's John Hayes. I'm actually here tonight in memory of my parents. They lived at 1006 Liberty Street in Emmaus. I think, as you all know, they both passed away this year. And I had come to council a few years back. It was probably, 6 or 7 years. They were frequent users of police services and EMS services, especially in the latter years of their lives. They just had a lot of health issues and things of that nature. But it was interesting. They had my mom was from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. My dad was from Toms River, New Jersey. They settled in the Lehigh Valley in Emmaus in 1960. 1986, They decided they wanted to move, so they moved from one end of the Stryer section over to where they lived until they passed away on Liberty Street. We talked a lot tonight about how special the town is. We've been so fortunate to have Mary Obst here for 20 years. Chief Faust and I actually worked together at the Borough Street Crew back when we were in high school. Wes, your wife's mom grew up across the street from me in the Stryer section. This is a very, very special town. It's a very, very special place. So I wanted to say thank you on behalf of me, on behalf of my family, on behalf of the memory of my parents. This town took such great care of them. It was fascinating when Mike Nonamaker ran EMS, even if he was off duty, if he heard 1006 Liberty Street, he went. You know, he'd show up wearing shorts, but he would go. We got the same service with the transition. The police, you can't say enough good things about the police and the job that they do here as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. You all do thankless jobs in a lot of cases. No one likes to talk about a lot of the things that come in front of council, and too often we don't take the time to come in and thank you as well. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Any other personal appeals? Hearing none, does anybody have a community minute to bring forward? Councilman Schuster?
On your desks, I think everyone received a copy of the outline that the Emmaus Arts Commission put together. So they'll be once again hosting the Snowblast Winter Arts Festival, and it'll be taking place on Friday, February 2nd, and also on Saturday, February 3rd. And the details are there. They're currently trying to put together all the events and everything that's going to be taking place around the Triangle area. They'll also be hosting a photo contest. The details for the photo contest are currently on the Emmaus Arts website, open to amateur photographers and professional photographers. And that has a deadline of January 31st. And that show will also take place during the Snowblast Winter Festival.
I will need, so normally I could approve this under my authority. However, they are going to have the Snowblast bar again, if you read the last sentence.
Yep.
So we would need council to approve the Snowblast bar. If you guys could take care of that this evening, that'll allow them the time to be able to prepare. Other than that, I think everything would fall under the annual event.
The $25 fee waiver for the fire pit.
It would be the same as we've always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah.
So, do we have a motion to approve the Winterfest with the sale of alcohol? Is there somebody who'd like to make that motion? Councilman Barrett, seconded by Councilman Anders. Any questions or discussion? It's pretty much the same as it's always been, so.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to special presentations, we have none. Reading of the minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes. I believe we have to approve them separately or together? There's the hearing and then there's the minutes to the meeting.
I would do them separately,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the public hearing minutes from the December 4th meeting? Councilman Barrett, seconded by Councilwoman Gilbert. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from December 4th? Councilwoman Gilbert, seconded by Councilman Barrett. Questions, discussion, or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. We have no decisions on bids. Communications, we received a letter from Everett Reds Bailey requesting reappointment to the Shade Tree Commission. That term, or his current term expires January 1st of 2018. So that will be addressed with the new council. We received a letter from Afan Anderson from Chestnut Street with regards to parking on Chestnut Street. She has some legitimate issues there, and I'm going to send that to the Public Safety Committee. I also received a letter from Hanover Engineering asking to still retain their services, and they also wished us a Merry Christmas and a safe, healthy New Year. Does anybody else have a communication to bring forward? Hearing none. There's no borough engineers report. Solicitors report.
I have no report tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Under unfinished business part 1, we have 2 ordinances having their second reading. Ordinance 1168, an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending Ordinance 1099 and Chapter 15, subsection 602.2.a of the Emmaus Borough Code, removing a residential handicapped parking sign on a public street located in front of 653 Furnace Street and 130 South 4th Street within the Borough of Emmaus. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve Ordinance 1168? Councilwoman Gilbert, seconded by Councilman Brown. Any questions or discussion? This is a roll call vote. Councilman Dufresne?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gilbert?
Aye.
Councilman Barrett?
Aye.
Councilman Anders?
Aye.
Councilman Shripsta?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Laberberg? Aye. That's 7 ayes. Next, we have Ordinance 1169, an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year 2018 for the Borough of Emmaus at the rate of 5.9715 mils pursuant to Section 1310 of the Borough Code of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and a revenue neutral levy based on the 2013 Lehigh County tax reassessment split between the general fund tax of 4.8754 mils and a fire fund tax of 1.0961 mils. Would somebody like to make the motion to approve Ordinance 1169? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilwoman Gilbert. Any questions or discussion on this? We spent 2 months on this, so there shouldn't be any questions. All right, roll call vote. Councilman Dufresne?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gilbert?
Aye.
Councilman Barrett?
Aye.
Councilman Anders?
Aye.
Councilman Shripsta?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Labenberg? Aye. There are 7 ayes. We have nothing under new business. Unfinished business, part 2. Items not on the agenda. Does anyone have anything to bring forward? Hearing none, we'll move on to the mayor's report. Last one, Mayor.
Hey, guess what, council? I got something to say tonight. Because then I'm out of here. Why, take notice, I didn't direct anything to Councilwoman Mayor to be Leanne Gilbert. Well, anyway, I want to say, Lee, I wish you well. You earned it. And as far as a public safety director, you're the best.
Thank you.
So you know the ropes, that's for sure. And I really do, I mean it. But one thing, to tell council, the borough manager, get you a new seat because I wore this one out. Progress.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Committee reports. Public Works Chairman, or Public Works Committee Chairman Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Liebenberg. Only one item for official action tonight, and it's the proposed road projects for 2018. Do you want me to read the list of roads?
Sure.
Oak Street through Broad to Minor Street, Golden through South 3rd Street to South 4th Street, Adrian to Short to South 3rd Street, Cherry to Peach to South 2nd Street, Long to Perkiomen to North 6th, George to Wenner to Cherry, Franklin to Harrison to Berger, John to Wood to End, and then crack sealing projects, oil and chip, we're going to oil and chip Mountain, Glenwood to Dalton, Beechwood, Harrison to Dead End. I place that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the floor by Councilman Brown. Is there a second? Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or discussion on the road projects? Councilman Anders.
Just a note for the public that we are working to try to work on more road projects in the future. In our budget, we have really worked to put some funds in to try to alleviate some of the roads that need work, and we're working on them from a list of what is worst to the better. So in the future, we should hopefully see more than even this list.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes.
With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee, Chairman Shripsta.
Yes, we have nothing for official action this evening. Our meeting is scheduled for December 21st at 4:15 in council chambers. I report progress.
You have something on the agenda?
I hope so.
I hope not.
Parks and Recreation Committee, Chairman Anders.
I have nothing on the agenda. Our next meeting will be in the new year, to be determined.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Chairwoman Gilbert, your last one.
I have no report this evening.
Well, that's
First time in
uneventful.
years that I can actually say I have no report.
Yeah.
No, I have
Going out with
nothing.
a bang.
I have no idea who will be on the next Public Safety Committee because the three of us are leaving. I'll report progress.
Thank you. General Administration Committee, Chairman Barrett.
Yes, we have 3 items that require official action. The first is one that we have discussed, we've met about multiple times. It's the Southwestern Lehigh Comprehensive Plan. It is Resolution 2017-43. It's a multi-municipality comprehensive plan, and I'll place that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion by Councilman Barrett. Is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert, any questions or discussion on the Southwestern Plan? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes.
The next is an item that the library proposed. They came to our general administration meeting. They're interested in putting up a sign, an LED sign in front of the library. Most people probably can't name where the actual sign is right now. One of their concerns is that it was rather invisible. And so as a way to better publicize their events, but also to make them a little more visible, they'd like to put an LED sign in. They have 2 $10,000 contributions from patrons. Am I correct? It was 2 $10,000? One was solidified. I think the other was very near being solidified. And that would pay for this sign. My personal note on it, I would rather see, just based on the financial situation of the library, that it go towards something else. I don't disagree that a sign would certainly benefit. But again, if there was someone willing to put, 2 people willing to put $20,000 towards the library, I don't know that that's the best use for it. That was my personal opinion. We did move it forward. It was a 3-0, or was it, Shane, do you vote?
It was
3-0, yeah. I mean, I did vote to move it forward. I'm going to vote against it simply for the sake of that I just would rather see that money go somewhere different based on years and years and years of conversations about all the things that the library really needs at the end of the day. So I'll place that in the form of a motion for the library to purchase and install an LED sign.
I'm going to
Before you
have you,
ask for the second, and then we'll discuss.
well, no, I wouldn't like them to add this. We also had in our motion that the sign would be shut off from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
I can add that.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Gilbert, discussion or debate? Councilman Anders.
Sure. What location? Because I'm trying to.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you go down Main Street and you'll really hard, you'll see where the library sign is.
I know where it is.
That's exactly where they would plan on putting the new one.
So the motorists traveling out of the borough down Lehigh Street would be looking over their left to try to read a sign that would be.
Well, you could say that about any sign, though, that you're going to be looking at.
Right, but.
It's a double-sided sign.
Yeah.
So it is, the current sign, it's like an Art Deco sign,
Right,
and it
it goes
faces
like-
towards the street.
Right.
This would face,
Both sides, kind
yeah,
of?
you would see it on both sides. It's not a perfect square
So,
of the
so
building.
about where the nativity scene is
Yeah.
approximately,
Probably about 30 feet from it.
towards this sidewalk,
Towards, towards,
The art mural.
the art mural.
Towards the east
yeah, towards
side.
the art mural.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's where it would be.
Councilman Brown.
No, one of the things that I liked about it was, I think, Mr. Leyenberg, you and I have been talking about an LED sign for many years. Will the library be wanting to put, the borough events on there as well, or is it just library functions?
The only question I asked was, are they going to use it for advertising? And they said no. And I said, why won't you use that for a revenue generator? And they said they want to just promote their events that they have at the library themselves. And that's as far as it went. I
Like
see where you're
snow
going
bla-
with that
like snow
because.
blast?
Right. So, I mean, maybe events that they're involved with, they would advertise even though it's a community, a borough event, so.
I think kind of even what you just said there is, you had asked if Snow Blast was their event, but because no one knows about it, they actually have an event, multiple events every week. And really one of the reasons that they wanted this sign was they felt it would be the only way to constantly promote all of the things that go on in the library. I mean, again, weekly, sometimes 2-3 events that are going on every week. And the only people that know about it are those that are regular patrons. So their feeling was this would be the easiest way to publicize that as many residents go down.
For instance, their book sales.
Sure.
They had a wine and cheese. They said they had, 6 people? They're hoping that if they have it on there, they're gonna,
Yeah, I mean, they had mentioned, they did, she had mentioned numerous events that we're not even aware of. So, I mean, they felt that could be one of their primary marketing tools. I think it was a very good discussion at Gen Ed. I know Mr. Barrett asked a lot of questions. He shared very valid concerns. But they're convinced that, this is a very important tool for them.
No, I agree.
So
And just one other thing, Mr. Lambert, you said 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Correct.
Now, that's commercial down there. Is there a reasoning behind that?
Yeah, there's some homes there across the street on East Main. I don't know, some of these LED lights, depending on what they put on them, can get quite bright, so I wouldn't want that in my living room if I lived there. And there's no reason to have it at midnight. Why do you need it at midnight or 2 in the morning? Most businesses turn their lights off at some point.
Most people that are driving at 2 in the morning aren't sure what it reads anyway.
I was going to say that, but.
Anyone else? Councilman Evers?
Being that we own the property, the maintenance and other things that happen to that, is there some agreement that would be made that they are strictly, no matter what it is, the wiring, the board itself, that the borough is not responsible for that, or?
Well, they're the ones making the purchase. I mean, we own the grounds and we own the buildings.
Correct.
We don't
They're
own-
installing it too.
Yeah, we don't own everything there.
But we own the grounds that it would be on, so there would, to me, there would need to be some agreement that they would be responsible for.
For what, the grass?
For the.
Maintenance of the
For
sign.
the maintenance of the sign, anything that happens to the sign.
I think if they purchase it, it's kind of.
From a legal standpoint, we could have a simple license agreement. That's what you would ask. You're not dealing with an easement or anything. It's just a license saying you could use our property. As a practical matter, this is one of those situations where it probably is not necessary, but I'd be glad to do one if you want.
I think the more simple answer is, Roy, at the end of the day, 20 years from now, when the sign has some sort of, the snowplow took it out, or, whatever random thing is, we'll be asking the borough electrician to go down there. It is part of, it's a borough facility. We should maintain it. The hope is that if it's something new, it doesn't have continual cost up front, but down the road, all of us will be gone, and that'll have been forgotten, and it was just the sign that was there, and we'll probably pay for it, so. It's like everything that we've ever talked about, though. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the boroughs, and we'll have to pay for it.
But if it's the boroughs, we can't put any, say, advertisements on it or whatnot.
I don't think, I think you're misunderstanding. That sign is not going to belong to the Borough of Emmaus. Am I correct, Mr. Solicitor?
That's my
We are
understanding.
not purchasing it. It's not coming under our ownership. It's theirs.
Right.
They're paying for the electricity. They're paying for the sign itself. So quite honestly, I'm not sure that we have any authority to make them let us advertise.
Well, as part of a license for the permission to put it there, we could, since it's on our land, but since they've gotten the money together and purchased it and it's theirs, I would think you would just as soon let them control it.
Right, so based on what I heard here, the slight shortfall in the funds, they're gonna pay it out of their own current budget, so
How-
they're paying for the whole.
That was my question.
We're going to talk about another shortfall coming up here when I report.
But they're not gonna ask us for that small difference, correct? Not.
No, that was definitely a
Not-
conversation Jen had with them.
Not direct.
We made it clear that the borough would not put any funds towards this sign.
As a matter of fact, that may have been part of the motion.
It was part of the motion.
Yeah, you want to amend your motion?
I will add that
Okay.
to the motion.
The amended
Sorry.
motion is that, they will take care of all the costs for the installation and the sign. Would you like to amend your second?
I don't think.
Or who made the
You can
second?
make it, I did.
Oh, you amend your second?
Could
I
I
asked
suggest
questions.
cost and maintenance? That way you covered everything, you don't have to worry about license.
I will add that to the motion as
All
well.
right. So we have
Yeah.
the LED sign for the public library being installed. It will not run from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It will be, they'll be responsible for the total cost and installation and maintenance. Did I cover it all? All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes?
No, I'm sorry. I'm a no.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Sorry, as you did that,
I was staring at you.
I lost my note as you did it, so I
Okay, there are
apologize.
6 ayes and 1 no, and that is Councilman Barrett. All right.
All right, the next item is the clerical union contract. It is a 5-year contract starting January 1st and expiring of 2018 and expiring December 31st, 2022. I'll place that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion by Councilman Barrett. Is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert. Any questions or discussion on the union contract? Clerical? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes.
I will report progress.
Wes, there was 1 appointment to the library board under the committee meeting minutes. If you could look that one up. I forget the lady's name.
Yes.
That's
Kendrick.
right, we can name that one now.
We can?
Yanitza
I thought-
Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Yanitza Taylor will place that as an appointment expiring January 1st, 2020. I'll place that in the form of a
There's a
motion.
motion by Councilman Barrett. Is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert. Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. Now you're good.
You know what, we actually do have one more thing. We have the race,
Kendrick Smith race?
Oh,
Kendrick
right.
Smith.
Okay.
So, let's bring this, sorry, apologize here.
March 24th.
The March 24th race, we received a letter from Kendrick Smith at our last meeting. It was originally a Parks and Rec discussion, but got moved to General Administration. He's proposing to have a race, it's what he calls a race rogue, meaning the course is undefined to the participants. The exact distance, they don't know any of those things. The date of the race is March 24th. He'd like to have it down at Klein's Lane, and the request was that, and so it'll start at Klein's Lane and go through the South Mountain Gateway trails, and then it will go into the South Mountain Trails. He is aware that that is not MAS property, and that he would need to contact Salisbury and the Wildlands Conservancy. But the requirement is that all trail markers must be removed. The race is responsible for collecting all trash after the race. The race pays for any porta potties. The borough shall request a donation from the race to assist with trail maintenance, and that the race provide proper insurance. So I'll place that in the form of a motion.
And this is for March 24th.
That's correct.
We didn't have hours, but it does say 5 to 6 hours it would take.
Yeah, in his original request, it did say in the morning, but it did not define a number of hours. I mean, it did not define the exact hours, but I did follow up with him, and he said 5 to 6 hours. So that's how we ended up with the 5 to 6 hours.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor by Councilman Barrett. Is there a second? Councilwoman Gilbert, questions or discussion? Councilman Anders?
Was it discussed parking with the cars that are currently parking over there, that are being rented? Is there enough parking for that?
I would say they probably wouldn't park there. They would park in the
By the railroad.
yeah, by the railroad,
The Borough Hall.
the main parking lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's also at the trailhead, as well as the parking lot by the soccer field up above as well. So I think there'd be more than enough
I thought
parking.
there was cars up there as well.
No,
And-
they're
it's
just
just,
in that parking lot
Okay,
on Minor.
that was my
And one other additional piece, I believe, according to his website, this is the third year that he's running it, so I think that 150 is a big goal, but if you looked at the first one, I think there were about 30 people. Last year, there were about 60 or 70 people, so I think that he's assuming that he's going to be able to double his size. So there might not even be 150 people. It's a unique race. I mean, as noted here, it's between 10 and 15 miles, so that's not an everyday race. They don't know what it is. It's a hard trail run, so it's not for... I don't think that his goal is to really make it huge. I think it has to be people that are dedicated to doing that style of race.
I could enter it, and I know how long it's going to be.
Right.
And where.
You know what, we're all gonna pay for you to go in. So.
Wes, I thought of one other thing. We had asked that we were going to ask for a donation also.
I put that in there.
you put
I
that
said
in
the
there.
borough shall
I
request
missed
a
that then.
donation
Okay.
for the race to assist with trail maintenance.
All right. Councilman Shipsta.
Just one question about the race. Do we supply the EMS for this? Because it's a trail run. I mean,
They have to request it and they'll pay for it.
and they'll pay for our EMS. Okay.
Yeah. It would just fall into the fee structure.
It would fall right into that. Okay.
So if they ask for any of those services, they would just be billed for those services.
Okay.
I had brought that up myself.
The unique thing about it is most of the race isn't in our coverage area. So, and if they get hurt way up the trail, we don't have, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we've talked the last couple of years about an ATV, UTV type of vehicle, because we don't have something that's going to necessarily go up that trail to get them.
Right.
Other than people on foot.
The bikes.
Yeah.
Bike up there.
We can send Nate up there.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes.
Okay, now that I've rescanned my meeting minutes here, progress.
Thank you. Budget and Finance Committee, that's myself. We have Resolution 2017-40, which is the 2018 fee schedule.
Ordinances, and then you forgot one.
Did we miss one?
You forgot community relations, but that's okay.
One of those days.
Who, me?
No, nothing.
Finance.
No, we're right.
No,
Nothing.
right.
She thought you forgot it. You didn't.
You did.
So we have Resolution 2017-40, the 2018 fee schedule. Would somebody like to make a motion to pass the fee schedule? Councilman Shupsta, second by Councilwoman Gilbert. Any questions or discussion on the fee schedule? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. Resolution 2017-41 is the refuse collection and compost site assessment fees for 2018. It's the same rate as last year. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve that? Councilman Shupsta, seconded by Councilwoman Gilbert. Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. We have Resolution 2017-42 to adopt the 2018 fiscal year budget. Would somebody like to make that motion? Councilwoman Gilbert, seconded by Councilman Shupsta. Any questions or discussion on the budget? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. And we have Resolution 2017-44, the bill list. And would somebody like to make a motion to recommend the bill list? Councilman Shipsta, second by Councilman Anders. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are 7 ayes. It says on here that our next meeting is January 2nd at 6:45. That is not true. We will not have a committee at that point, as we will have new council members being sworn in. So that will be determined in the new year with the new council. With that progress, we have Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairman Dufresne.
Nothing on the agenda for official action, and our next meeting is also to be determined based on the new committees, so progress.
Thank you. Under boards and commissions, you have your Planning Commission meeting minutes, and that's all that we have under our agenda this week. Personal appeals part 2. Does anyone have a personal appeal?
Just can't get enough.
It's back already.
My apologies. I was standing up here and thinking I regrettably forgot someone. Councilman Barrett, is this your last meeting?
It could be. That's an unusual answer to
Don't
give.
answer that.
Right, exactly.
I just wanted to thank you for your service to the borough as well. I was standing back there thinking I forgot someone, so thank you as well, and all of council for that matter, but you're always an Emmaus First guy too, so thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Any other appeals? Hearing none. Borough Manager's Report.
The significant revenue and expense items for the first half of December are in your iPads. Mr. Barrett, I'm going to need your iPad. Mr. Brown, I know you want your iPad. You don't keep your iPad.
I thought you gave this as a
I'm going to need
donation.
that too. And Mr. Mayor, you can keep any pen and papers. That
Thanks for doing all my work. Okay?
you're more than welcome to keep them.
But I will see that you get all the keys.
Yes, sir. I need your keys as well.
I thought you were giving me those as
Mr.
a
Barrett,
party gift.
I trust that you'll give me your keys, Mr. Brown. The police department will be over to your house. Mrs. Mayor-elect, you can hang on to your iPad.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Where is it?
But I echo the words that you've heard here today. Thank you very much for making my job much easier. As far as other business that I have, I did the library building bid opening today. I spent an hour just reading bids. So usually a bid opening for me takes about 5 minutes. Nobody's here, and we open it, get our 2 or 3 bids, and call it a day. We had probably about 20 bids between the 4 different phases of professional services. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out because the bottom bid was higher than what the library's budget is for this project. And that's after you do all the deductions, of taking out alternates, of really kind of minimizing what they wanted to do in the project. So it was disappointing. However, we'll see what they do from here. Here's the problem for them. They don't have a whole lot of time to raise funds. If they need to raise $200,000, and that's about the number in my head at this point, we haven't finalized anything. The architects need to go through everything and meet with the library board. But if they need to raise $200,000, they have until March to do it. Because we have a $500,000 grant for that project. And under that grant, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania made it very clear they are not extending it. It's a very short time period. That project has to be done by November. And construction has to start by March. So if they don't meet their deadlines, the grant is in jeopardy. So they have some decision-making to do. Hopefully the architect and the engineers can get a little bit creative, maybe do some change orders on that project. A lot of local firms bid on it, including the firm that built the original library. The bids ranged from about 1.2 million to 1.48 million, somewhere in there. The electric bids, and then there were alternates that reduced significantly. But when you factored in the electrical, the HVAC, and the plumbing bids, that brought it back up. Some of the bids were much lower in some of those other areas of expertise, which makes you wonder if maybe they missed something. When an electrical bid, that should be around $60,000, ranged from 40 to 95. Somebody missed something, whether it was too high or too low. So the architect needs to vet that as well. We're hoping that something can be in front of us for official approval, because that is a building we are going to own when it's all said and done. We're hoping that council might be able to see that for the January 2nd or the January 15th council meeting. I don't know what's going to come of it at this point. They have a lot of discussions they have to do. Mr. Barrett?
Was there any reason specifically was there something that suddenly jumped, or was it just an inaccurate
No, and
assumption?
very good question. So typically, I mean, just like we did, they have a builder cost out the project, and that builder that cost out their project was significantly under what the bids came in at is really what happened. The reason why this project is so much money, I mean, you're talking about 2,600 square feet. I mean, you're building a brand new house, and if you spend $1.2 million on 2,600 square foot, that baby better be made out of gold. But one of the challenges is it's in a flood zone. And because they have to raise that so high, there's a lot of concrete, and the cost of the concrete is what's really killing the project. And when you're paying, at the state wage, because it is a grant project, it's a public bid, you're paying a laborer $42 an hour. So all of those, jump the cost of the project. But really, the reason why this project costs so much money is because it's in that flood zone. They have to raise it up. There's a lot more concrete involved in this project than what you would typically see in a construction project. So they did have some last minute changes they had to make, which probably really resulted in maybe $20,000 to $30,000 of design changes. But it's really the concrete, and the bids are coming in much higher than what the original estimator had projected it to be. So the library board hasn't vetted anything. It was just the architects and I in the room today with. We had a room full of bidders. I mean, it was a full house in here. So it was a very good turnout. Very competitive. So I think in each section of the bid, they had at least 4 to 5 bidders. So at least we know that it was a competitive process. You're not just settling. I mean, sometimes we have that problem, like, hey, only 2 people bid on this thing. Is this really where the market is with this? In this case, I think it was a very competitive process. I mean, who doesn't want $1.2 million of business? So we'll see what comes of it. The library board obviously needs to convene with the architects and the engineers and figure out what's going to happen there.
So were the library board was here, or someone representative that heard this as well?
Unfortunately, I was here with the architect.
Okay.
I know that their director was in other meetings during the time today. I do know that.
So the grant, $500,000 grant, that has to be started by March. They could possibly be in danger of losing that.
If
and
they
the
don't,
whole project would go.
if they don't start in March, they are definitely in danger of losing that grant. And we're talking, even if they come up with $200,000, that's with no contingencies. And we all know with a project like that, there needs to be contingencies. And usually you should allow about 10%. Because who knows what happens when they start drilling, when they start digging, when they start building. Things could happen. So even if if the bid's at 1.2 million for everything, and they have exactly 1.2 million, they are still walking a very dangerous line. So I wish them the best. I hope that they have the funds in place. My understanding is that that's definitely over their budget at this point. Outside of that, I will report progress.
Thank you. That leaves President's business. Well, I'm happy and sad at the same time as we have some council members moving on. Some we'll see and some we won't see. But obviously you heard the names. We have Councilman Barrett, Councilman Brown, Councilwoman Gilbert, and Mayor Yobst. And cumulatively, we have 60 years of experience leaving this council. Wow. 60 years. We have Councilman Brown, who's been on here for 10 years. Heavily involved in the borough. I think he took more time than anyone that I know of on council, doing ride-alongs, getting in to talk to department heads and talking to workers. And he really wanted to know the inner workings of the borough. And for that, I thank you. And I think you do know more about how the inner workings of the workers and everything than most people here, because you take the time to find out. So I wish you the best of luck as County Commissioner.
Thank you.
You worked hard to get there, and I wish you the best of luck. So that's with 10 years of service. Moving on in seniority here, we have Councilman Barrett with 12 years of service. I know I've told this story a few times, but I met Wes. He has his own disc jockey business, and I'm a big Emmaus Green Hornet basketball fan, and I would go to all the games. And Wes would be over in the corner playing pregame music and halftime and timeouts, and I got to know Wes just through the basketball games. That's how I first met you. And one year there was an opening for council, and I said, would you be interested in running for council? Because after talking to him a few times, he just seemed like that type of person. And Wes knows the quote. He says, actually, I do have political aspirations, and that's exactly what he said. That's exactly how he said it.
As a 22-year-old? Yeah.
That's exactly how he said it. And he ran hard, he ran a good campaign, and he's been on here ever since. Some of the things that he's done, I believe you have the Halloween 5K race for 11 years now. Was it the 11th year this past year?
Correct, yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is he donates that money to the borough for the Parks and Recreation Committee, the Arts Commission. Now you're doing it for somewhere else too.
Flag Day Association this year.
Flag Day Association also. He divides the money up, and that's greatly appreciated by those commissions. Also, some of the things that Wes has done is he was a big part of putting the Homestead Trail in and making that happen. And also, I think under Wes's guidance is the reason why we have these meetings televised is because of Wes. So we're going to miss you. I know I'm going to miss you. You've become a good friend, and I wish you the best of luck. 2 houses outside the borough.
I know.
That is the reason why he has to resign, because he's moving with his family, and we wish him the best of luck. Then we move on to Leanne Gilbert, who has 18 years of service, and she will be staying with us, but she will be moving into the mayor's seat. And her biggest accomplishment is she is the first female council president, and that's a huge accomplishment, and I know she's quite proud of that, and there's a lot of people that are proud of that also. And she was council president for 6 years. And she was also, you were very active in the process of designing the police department and getting us moved in there. And of course, I don't know how many years on the public safety, if you served all 18 years
18.
on there or not. Was it all 18?
All 18.
I wasn't sure if it was the full 18 or not, but that is why she knows what she knows about everything in the police department, because she's been there since day one. Which leads us to our mayor, 20 years of service. A lot of you don't know this, but he went to school with my father, and my father has passed away. And I enjoy hearing the stories about the things they used to do. I can't tell you some of them, but it's just nice to have a friendly face here. And as he pointed out to me, I'm going to be the only Dutchman on council after he leaves. So, Mayor, you've always been the face of the borough. When you think of Emmaus, you think of Mayor Yopes, because he's been at every ribbon cutting. He spoke at, did you speak at all 20 Memorial Day parades?
Right.
Right? And Flag Day Association every year. He's been involved in this borough heavily, and we're going to miss him. But he's not going to disappear. I'm sure you're going to be around.
You missed one thing, you gotta let him know that I was your milkman.
He was my milkman. But, maybe I was in diapers then, but I do remember the metal box, and you would get the milk out of the metal box on the front porch. So.
And they were a good customer too, and that's why they got so big, because they drank Freeman's milk best by test.
Don't forget crossing guard. Don't
So,
forget his crossing guard.
And crossing guard.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been doing that? Longer than 20 or
Oh,
since?
this will be my 34th year.
34 years of dedication to the crossing guards, and that takes a lot of time and dedication. Mr. Mayor, we received I'm going to call it a proclamation, but it says, "Dear Mayor, congratulations on your upcoming retirement as Mayor of Emmaus. On behalf of the United States Congress and the 15th Congressional District of Pennsylvania, I am pleased to extend a heartfelt greetings on this meaningful milestone in your life. The occasion serves as a reminder of the outstanding service you have provided to the residents of Emmaus and the community at large. I join your family and those individuals whose lives you have touched with your compassion and expertise in thanking you for your good work and dedication. As you move forward onto your next chapter of life, I send my best wishes for health, happiness, and blessings of every kind. And that is